Hello and welcome to another video on Bolts and Boost to the best friends and family on YouTube. Today, we're gonna seal up this baby up top here. I'm going to take that out, just do a quick clean, air it out, fill it with coolant, put it down with some new gaskets, and bolt this sucker in. While we're doing that, we're going to everything's plugged in. I'm going to go ahead and plug in the fuel lines now. That really doesn't need to happen right now. Maybe I'll just leave it actually. Just because I want these new injectors to for sure see a new filter, which I need to install still. So, supercharger's all cleaned up, ready to go. Letting all this gross oil drain out of it overnight. That's all from the PCV systems. All of them suffer from this. Building a bracket for the barometer. See how much oil. A little bit. So I'm making it out of very thin gauge steel. And the primer is not adhering very well, even though I scuffed it. So I'm going to hope as time goes on, next 30 minutes or so, that it does dry and I can put a coat of paint on it. Because a bracket for that thing is like $80 US. By the time it gets here, it'll be $150 for a little plate. I did contemplate chopping the one off this, but I want to keep this thing 100% factory, or sorry, 100% revertible. Just because it's such a low mile example, one owner truck. So I want it to be able to revert back to that if need be. So I made a flimsy little bracket. I'm gonna go ahead and clean this up just a bit more, take that out, clean it up, and then we're installing, everybody. Gonna start bolting this sucker in. All right, so I just took this metal gasket off. I wish I had metal replacements, but the one I got is like a thick paper with like a silicone bead. It's Mahale. It has good reviews, so I went with it. I did look for a metal gasket. I couldn't find one. Hopefully they exist out there somewhere. Yeah. I'm just trying to look at the holes here. And I'm just going to clean this up and we're going to see if this fits. I just want to make sure this is the right one because there is a different bolt pattern depending on the year of lightning. So just let me do that. All right, she's on. Correct bolt pattern. Got me a little scared there for a second. This is made out of like some composite material. It almost does look like there is steel in it or some kind of metal, maybe aluminum. So that's awesome. I was a little skeptical at first. So I'm going to go put this sucker on. Just give that one a final wipe down. And then we're going to bolt this baby back on. Sweet. Okay, so she's in there. It wasn't too bad. It's just you got to make sure that the gasket is going on correctly with the dowels that are on this side and such. Clean the surface up. And I'm ready to go. So obviously we're gonna have to install those back four first, which I hate doing. There's really no other way to do it though, unless you yank this thing, the engine. A lot of guys do it this way, from what I can gather on the interwebs, and there's no problems. So I'm gonna go ahead, put those last four in the back, torque them down, install the coolant lines. And I think I should be good to go. I did install the fuel lines back there. They're all tucked away. O-rings are lubed up. Hopefully there's no leaks there. It's gonna be a lot more accessible now though with the EGR removed. So yeah, let's give this a shot. All right, so I ran into a little snag. These bolts are gonna have to come out again. Yay. Good thing I didn't start torquing these suckers. But I forgot to add the intercooler cooler lines, and clamping that clamp, the spring clamp, is an absolute pain in the rear. because they point to the firewall, which is not ideal. So I have to take this out, put the cooler lines back in, for fuck's sake, and then put it back. All right, round 2. Just pre-filled this thing with coolant. So it's just less for the system to work out. I know it's probably not a big deal, but I did it anyway. So I'm gonna go ahead and put these guys on and put it back, and hopefully that's the end of that. All right, she's in. That sucked. Those hoses get caught up on the firewall, and I was struggling, obviously, and the gasket misaligned. I think it's okay. Let's hope and pray. I don't think there's enough oomph to damage anything, but it just sucks. It really does. If I were doing this over again, I would actually take the connection off there, put the hoses on there, and then you'd probably have an easier time putting those on. Either way, this is going to suck. I actually have brand new hoses on the way, but Canada Post. So I have no idea when I'll see them, so I'm not going to let that hold me up anymore. But as you can see, there's just little nitpicky things here and there that are holding me up, and I said to hell with it. So I'm going to install these things. Supercharger's going on next. I'm going to torque those bolts. I believe it's 33 foot-pounds. I will put the screenshot up for you guys, though, and the sequence, but I can't follow the sequence on those back 4. So, yeah. All right, bottom 4 are torqued. Obviously, this is lifting a little bit at the front. I'm not a fan of that whatsoever. But it's the only thing we can do right now. So I'm going to go ahead and throw this guy on, throw the new gasket on, and torque them all down to 33. So something that I do is I number the bolts, and I lay them out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That way, I can follow this and go to town. So supercharger to lower intake manifold bolts, 33 foot-pounds. So that's exactly what I'm doing, and I'm following this sequence here. So, yeah. And I'm on bolt number 3 right now. Holy crap. Well, she's on. Barely. I see I still got to clean the front of this Eaton. Yeah, that was a pain in the rear. You guys, the Lightning boys might have to tell me how to... well, I mean, it's in, but like that number 5 bolt at the back, this last one right here, you can't get that in while the supercharger is seated. So you have to put the bolt in with the supercharger in order for that to seat properly. And it's a real pain. I scratched up the firewall a bit there. I'll have to touch it up, but man, you just don't know about the gasket, right? Like maybe, hopefully the gasket's okay. I mean, it should be, but still, it's just one of those things. And then on this side, you cannot get a proper reach on that rear one with the stud, number 6. I tried everything. I think it's over torqued a bit because I hate torquing with swivel joints and extensions, but with this one I had to do it, and then I finally got the socket on just a bit with just the torque wrench and the socket, and it torqued right away. So it might be over torqued just a tad. I didn't go balls to the wall knowing that it might do that, but man, it looks pretty. Finally, I just hope it seals now. Yeah, it looks good. Like there's no real gappage anywhere, and the gasket is consistent all the way around, which is what you want to see. It's probably a pretty tough bead that they have, so I'm not too concerned about it. But that boost bypass solenoid was a pain getting around, and this thing's got to go here pretty soon. But I just wanted it to be sealed, and I did it, so I'm happy. But yeah, that was a pain. Pain. Working around the supercharger doesn't look too bad until you have to do it, and then it's like the worst, and that's exactly what it was. So if I ever have to service those coolant hoses back there for the intercooler underneath this thing, yeah, good luck, Josh. It's going to be a pain. At least the coolant hoses here are all cleaned up and they look totally attainable for the most part, I guess. I think I could put my hand in there, and if I need to service them, I can service them, which is what the absolute goal was about that. So everything looks good there, thankfully. Now I'm just going to clean this thing up a bit and then hit the shower, hit the hay, and be thankful that she's on and all sealed up and pretty much ready to go. Just besides some cleaning, and obviously I got to do the front, but this part is donezo. So I'm going to just give her a clean and say goodbye after. All right, y'all. It is, it's done. Torqued, cleaned, ready to rock for the most part. I was like, what is this now? That's just the boost bypass. But overall, not a terrible job. Would have been a lot smoother if my parts would have arrived at all. Now that this is done, we're going to tackle the cooling system. Got a new radiator. We're going to pull that cage off down there. I'm pretty sure Bertha, my 1-inch drive impact, will be able to take it off. It has not found a nut that it couldn't crack yet. So yeah, I'm just like kind of shocked, in awe. I didn't think I would get the supercharger on before Christmas, but there she is. And what a pain, honestly. Like, getting around this thing to work is a absolute pain in my rear. I am overly ecstatic that I am doing mods as I go to make anything easier with this thing. You would think a modular V8 with a supercharger would be relatively easy to work on comparatively, but like, it is 98%, and then the other 2% is rip your hair out if you got any level. And yeah, now that I know that that bolt has to go in with the supercharger, I'll do that every time. Obviously, I don't know how I got it out. Maybe I did pull it out with it. I don't think I did, but maybe I did. Again, lightning guys. I was going to say cyclone guys. Lightning guys, please let me know. The reason why I was going to say cyclone is we've actually owned a cyclone. My family has, and I'm trying to obtain one again. So yeah, there she is, guys. As always, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please check out other videos on the channel. I hope you all have an awesome Christmas holidays. And may this Christmas be merry to you. So as always, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Till next time, peace.